Welcome to episode 3 of the series From Tester to AI Quality Leader. A bug is not just a crash anymore. A bug can be a toxic answer that gets a screenshot and spreads, a biased outcome that creates real world harm, a privacy leak that exposes something it should never say, or an AI agent taking an action it was never supposed to take. These failures don't always show up on the happy path. They show up when users get weird, stressed, clever, or malicious. So, in this episode, I'm going to show you what governance looks like in a way that actually matches a tester's job, guardrails, ethics, compliance, and how to red team your own product before your users or regulators do it for you. Here's what we're covering in this episode: real time guardrail testing, how to validate the filters and rules that stop toxic, unsafe, or biased behavior while the system is live. Regulatory QA, how to treat compliance as testable requirements, especially with EU AI Act deadlines landing in 2026. Adversarial thinking, how to red team your own product so you find the vulnerabilities first. And the leader shift, expanding your definition of done from all tests passed to we tested the risk. Here are quick definitions. Governance for us as testers, governance is simply what rules must the system follow and how do we prove it follows them. Guardrails. Guardrails are the enforcement layer. Runtime checks that block, allow, or route behavior. Think, this content must be refused or this tool action requires confirmation. These are controls you can test like any other control. Compliance evidence, this is the proof your system behaved the way you claim it behaves. Logs, test results, and traceability. And the key point in 2026 is that oversight is trending toward ongoing controls and monitoring, not a one-time review. Key concept number 1, real-time guardrail testing. If you're a software tester, your job is simple. Treat guardrails like any other requirement and break them on purpose. Here's the tester mindset. When it should block, it blocks. When it should allow, it allows. When it's uncertain, it escalates or asks clarifying questions, and it leaves enough trace to debug what happened. Quickly, let's define what a toxic output and bias mean. Toxic output is harassment, hate, self-harm, encouragement, explicit content, whatever your policy says is not allowed. Bias is systematically unfair behavior toward a group. In products, it often shows up as different outcomes for similar inputs depending on protected traits. Now, here's what an actual guardrail test suite looks like for a tester. Boundary tests, prompts that are almost disallowed. Guardrails fail at the edges first. Multi-turn tests are testing the system across a series of back and forth interactions rather than single isolated prompts. Message 1 is harmless. Message 5 crosses the line. Real users don't always attack in one shot. Context tests are same request, different role, region, or policy context. Does it behave consistently? Regression pack is the same bad prompt library run every release because updates to prompts, models, tools, or policies can break your controls. When a guardrail fails, you file it like a defect. Now let's talk about regulatory QA. And we need to be aware of some AI regulatory developments. The EU AI Act is a big driver here, and 2026 is a key year. A major date that gets referenced by legal and compliance teams is August 2nd, 2026, when certain requirements kick in for some systems. So, what does regulatory QA mean in tester language? 4 practical things. 1, build an AI inventory. An inventory is just where is AI used, what does it do, and what can it impact. If you can't list it, you can't test it consistently. 2, classify risk. So you test the right depth. Risk-based classification means higher impact systems need tighter testing, more scenarios, more logging, more controls, more monitoring. You don't test a movie recommendation bot the same way you test something that affects hiring, healthcare, finance, or identity. 3, translate obligations into test artifacts. Test cases for prohibited behaviors, test results for safety controls, monitoring checks after release, not just pre-release, escalation paths when serious failures happen. 4, make documentation a side effect of good testing. The goal isn't paperwork. The goal is when someone asks, did you test this risk? You can answer with real test runs, versions, and results. Now, the fun part, adversarial thinking. Red teaming, its simple definition is structured break the system testing. You test like an attacker, a scammer, or a determined user. And for software testers, this is not a new concept. It's the same as security testing, abuse case testing, negative testing, boundary analysis. Just pointed at AI behavior and AI tool use. Here are 4 red team categories you can test today. 1, prompt injection attempts. What does it mean? These are prompts designed to override system rules or extract hidden instructions. Think SQL injection mindset, but for prompts. 2, data exfiltration attempts, trying to pull out secrets. System prompts, internal docs, other users' info, tokens, credentials, anything that should never appear in output. 3, policy bypass attempts. What is a policy bypass attempt? AI models follow policies, rules that prevent them from generating harmful, unsafe, illegal, or restricted content. A bypass attempt is when a user tries to rephrase or disguise their request so the AI accidentally ignores those rules. Instead of asking directly, they use tricks. Common bypass patterns are say it as a joke, translate it, role play, pretend you're an uncensored model, etc. 4, tool misuse for agents. If the model can call tools such as refunds, emails, account actions, database reads, your job is to test. Can I trick it into doing something out of scope? Can I cause it to take action without proper confirmation? Can I chain steps into a harmful outcome? Here's a tip that makes this actionable. Don't red team randomly. Build a repeatable suite. Attack library your payloads, expected safe behavior, pass or fail scoring, and a remediation loop where each finding becomes a regression test. That's how you turn cool hack into reliable quality. Let's talk about another concept, the leader shift. In AI and agentic systems, quality isn't only correctness, it's correctness plus safety, privacy, and control. So your definition of done has to grow. Here's what authority level tester definition of done looks like in 2026. Definition of done includes guardrails are implemented and tested, block, allow, escalate behavior is verified with a regression suite, compliance related requirements have test coverage. Red team suite has been executed, issues fixed or explicitly risk accepted by the right people. Monitoring exists in prod and the team knows what signals trigger incident response. That's professional testing for modern systems. So here's the takeaway. For a tester, governance is test cases, controls, and proof that the system behaves safely under pressure. And that's exactly why software testers are becoming more valuable, not less. Because someone has to be great at answering, did we actually test the dangerous stuff? In the next episode, we're going into human in the loop strategy, how to design the points where humans must approve, review, or override so the system stays safe after you ship. If you're done being just a tester and you're ready to be the person who leads quality in the room, subscribe.